tea that costs as much as your rent, weddings with 1,000 guests in modern palaces, cars, only if it's a customized Bentley, delivered straight to your penthouse. This is life at the top of the pyramid in China. A world that doesn't appear in factories, crowded subways, or the cramped apartments where most of the population lives. While billions work for low wages and live in tiny spaces, the Chinese elite live in smart mansions, fly private jets, and pay for experiences that cost more than most people earn in years. Today, Bello Mundo will show you how this group lives. People who hide billion-dollar fortunes behind apps that do everything, from paying for water to buying a car or transferring millions. Here, tradition and technology go hand in hand, and the ones calling the shots are the Fu Dai, the children and grandchildren of China's new generation of billionaires. Before talking about smart mansions and art collections, it is necessary to understand the context in which all this takes place. China is not only the most populous country in the world, it is also one of the places that has produced the most billionaires in recent decades. The economic transformation that began in the 80s created a wave of wealth that completely changed the face of the country. To give you an idea, in 1995, China had virtually no billionaires. Today, there are more than 600, second only to the United States. What is most striking is not even the quantity, it is the speed. Families who a generation ago lived simply now run empires, buy real estate around the world, and send their children to the most prestigious universities in the West. Much of this wealth comes from technology, real estate, e-commerce, and industry, and some names represent this new Chinese elite well. Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, which is simply the largest e-commerce site in China, a kind of mix of Amazon, Mercado Libre, and even a digital bank, all in one place. Pony Ma, creator of Tencent, owner of WeChat, the super app that works like WhatsApp, Instagram, Uber, and a bank, all together, as well as owner of gaming companies and social networks used by virtually the entire Chinese population. And then there's Zhang Yiming, founder of ByteDance, the company that controls, among other products, TikTok, the short video app that has taken the world by storm. But unlike other countries, showing off in China has rules. The government pressures the wealthy to avoid excessive displays of money in the name of so-called common prosperity. As a result, many have adopted the concept of discreet luxury, spending fortunes on exclusive, high-quality items, but without flashy brands or blatant ostentation. It is in this game, between having a lot and appearing to have little, that the Chinese elite lives today. And this is the world we are going to explore now. Number 1. Where Chinese tycoons live. When you talk about luxury mansions, many people immediately think of Hollywood or Dubai. But in China, this concept takes it to another level. The greatest fortunes are concentrated in Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong, 4 of the cities with the most expensive square footage on the planet. In Beijing, the Chaoyang district has become a benchmark for those at the top. It is home to embassies, diplomatic buildings, and the most expensive mansions in the city. A house in the Chateau Glory area easily exceeds $15 million. And of course, it comes with a Zen garden, an air purification system, mandatory in one of the most polluted cities in the world, and head of state level security. In Shanghai, the Lujiazui Financial Center in the Pudong district is home to China's most expensive apartments. A single floor in Thompson Riviera has already been sold for $25 million, complete with a panoramic view of the Bund, that postcard image that brings together, on one side, historic buildings from the colonial era, and on the other, futuristic skyscrapers that represent the new billionaire China. In Hong Kong, the stakes are even higher. the Peak neighborhood has been Asia's most exclusive address for decades. A house there costs no less than $70 million, and with that comes an open view of Victoria Harbor, total privacy, and the social status of living in the same neighborhood as some of the most powerful families on the continent. But what really sets these properties apart from the rest is not just their location, it's what's inside. The mansions blend tradition with cutting-edge technology. Gardens inspired by imperial palaces, lakes, pavilions, rare stones brought from Tai Lake, and at the same time automation systems that control everything: lighting, temperature, sound, security, curtains, and even air quality, all with facial recognition. Underground garage? Yes. But it's not just a parking space. It's a garage with an elevator that takes cars into the house's exhibition room. Upstairs, there is a swimming pool with spring water. Downstairs, there are rooms for tea ceremonies and climate-controlled wine cellars, filled with French labels that no longer exist on the market. But it's not enough to have assets. In China, true wealth is also measured by another type of investment, that which goes into the education of one's heirs. Number 2. Elite education for heirs. In China, education has never been just a way to get ahead in life. It has always been synonymous with status, prestige, and power. And in the world of the ultra-rich, it becomes a project to train global successors, and it starts early. Before preschool, the children of the elite already have English tutors, almost always native speakers from the United States or the United Kingdom. By the age of 3, they speak 2 languages, take piano lessons, learn Chinese calligraphy, and participate in activities such as fencing and horseback riding. At 6, the competition for places at the most exclusive international schools in Beijing or Shanghai begins. Names such as Dulwich College, Harrow, and Yu Chung top the list. Tuition fees exceed $50,000 per year. Around the age of 14, many are sent to boarding schools in Switzerland, the United Kingdom, or the United States. La Rosey in Switzerland, Eton in England, and Phillips Exeter in the United States are among the most sought after. More than education, these places are networks of influence. At university, the script repeats itself: Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Oxford, and Cambridge. And yes, there are families who hire consultants for hundreds of thousands of dollars to secure a place. Others prefer to speed things up with million-dollar donations. And it doesn't stop at enrollment. Many parents buy luxury apartments in the cities where their children will study. Some students live in million-dollar penthouses, purchased solely for use during college. The cycle closes with the world's most competitive MBAs, such as INSEAD in France, WHARTON in the United States, or HARVARD Business School. When they return to China, these young people are not looking for jobs. They return to take over family businesses, start their own businesses, or manage their own funds, with initial investments that easily reach tens of millions of dollars. Here, education is not an expense. It is a strategy to ensure that the family name remains at the top. And while the heirs are being trained to take over empires, there is another type of event that moves similar amounts of money: weddings. Number 3. Luxury weddings. If traditional weddings in China are already synonymous with ostentation among the billionaire elite, this is taken to another level. Here, it is not just a ceremony. It is a public showcase of power, money, and influence. And it all starts before the altar. There is a tradition called bride money, where the groom's family gives a gift to the bride's family as a sign of respect and prosperity. However, in this world, the gift is not jewelry or symbolic money. It is an apartment, a car collection, company shares, and investments that easily exceed millions. One of the most absurd cases happened in 2013 when a Chinese man went viral on social media for giving his future wife 8,880,000 yuan, which, at the current exchange rate, is equivalent to about $1,243,000. It took 18 people to carry this amount of cash to the bride's house. The money weighed over 220 pounds. And it wasn't a random amount. In Chinese culture, the number 8 is a symbol of prosperity, so they chose a sequence full of 8s as a sign of good luck. And don't think this was an isolated case, it's far from it. The party follows the same pattern of excess. It is almost never a single event. The celebrations can last for days and take place in various locations. Some families rent historic theaters in Beijing, close resorts in the Maldives, or reserve entire islands in Thailand, just for the guests. The bride's dress? Never just one. There are 5, 6, or more, made by designers such as Vera Wang or by Chinese tailor-made brands. Each change of outfit costs tens of thousands of dollars. The guest list looks like a meeting of those who control the economy. Businessmen, technology magnates, bank owners, and investors. Having more than 1,000 guests here is not an exaggeration. It's normal. And the gifts, of course, are not tableware sets. They are works of art, designer jewelry, company shares, and even real estate. The entertainment follows suit. There have been weddings with Mariah Carey, Andrea Bocelli, and Elton John on stage, and each of these shows easily costs over $1 million. The menu is equally impressive. Michelin-starred chefs, rare Bordeaux wines, caviar, truffles, rare champagnes, and even mineral water brought in from specific sources in Europe. Dinner alone costs over $300,000. Even traditions have been modernized. Instead of red envelopes, hongbao, traditionally used to give money at weddings, birthdays, and New Year's, today everything is done via digital transfer. And these gifts, when added up, easily reach millions of yuan. For these people, marriage is not just about love. It is a social contract, a game of influence, and yet another way to make it clear who is in charge. And if the weddings are impressive, wait until you see how these billionaires enjoy themselves in their spare time. Number 4. Multi-million-dollar collections and hobbies. For those at the top in China, collecting is not just a hobby. It is an investment. It is status. It is making it clear that money is no object. And when it comes to art, there is no room for amateurism. Scroll paintings by Chinese masters such as Zhang Daqian, who is like the Picasso of China, or Qi Baishi, famous for painting landscapes, flowers, and animals, are easily worth tens of millions of dollars. One of the most famous cases happened in 2017, when a collection of 12 paintings by Qi Baishi was sold for no less than 931 million yuan. At the time, $141 million. That was in a single auction, there in Beijing. And look, this isn't even out of the ordinary. There are billionaires who have an entire gallery in their homes with museum-level security, humidity, temperature, and light control. Everything designed to preserve works that, together, are worth hundreds of millions. Another object of desire for this crowd is luxury watches. Brands such as Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Richard Mille have their biggest buyers in the Chinese market. Limited edition models, especially those with unique complications, are sought after not only for status, but also as an investment. A single watch can easily cost over $1 million. Fine wines are also on the radar. The wealthiest maintain climate-controlled wine cellars with thousands of rare bottles, mainly Bordeaux and Burgundy. One Chinese billionaire even bought 12 bottles of the prestigious Romanée Conti at a single auction for approximately $1.1 million at the time. For car lovers, only the most exclusive will do. Underground garages house collections of Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, and Ferraris, often in custom colors and with bespoke interiors. Some take exclusivity to the extreme, ordering one-of-a-kind models directly from manufacturers. Tea has also become the subject of valuable collections. Rare varieties, some aged for decades, can cost tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram. More recently, in December 2021, Sotheby's Hong Kong, one of the world's largest luxury auction houses, put up for auction a number of lots of vintage pu'er, a type of fermented tea from China's Yunnan province, which becomes rarer and more expensive the older it gets. To give you an idea of the level, a single tea cake, that pressed disc made of leaves, weighing 330 grams, sold for 562,500 Hong Kong dollars. At the exchange rate at the time, that was about 72,000 US dollars. That's for a piece of tea. Who would have thought that tea would become a collector's item? Well, it has, and today it works just like rare wine or Swiss watches. It's an investment, it's status. It's telling everyone that you're at a level that few people reach. And since we're talking about refined taste, if people are paying millions for a piece of tea, imagine what they spend on food. Number 5. Exclusive cuisine. In China, eating has never been just about nourishment. It has always been culture, tradition, and for those at the top, it has also become a clear way of showing that they are not playing in the same league as the rest of the planet. It starts with the restaurants. The most exclusive ones in Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong don't even put prices on the menu. They don't need to. The chef creates the menu on the spot, using only seasonal and extremely rare ingredients. A dinner for two easily costs over $2,000, not counting the wine. And of course, the wine cellars in these places are another world. Bottles of Petrus, Lafite Rothschild, and Romane Conti, which we mentioned earlier, are small change. There are bottles that easily exceed $50,000. For those who want something even more exclusive, there is Ultraviolet in Shanghai, a restaurant that only serves 10 people per night, offering a complete sensory experience, sound, smell, image, all synchronized with each dish. And reservations? Only months in advance. But there are those who prefer not to leave home. The solution? Hire a Michelin-starred chef to work in your own home. Salary? $500,000 a year, and the chef even travels with you, whether to your yacht, your chalet, or any home around the world. The ingredients are up to standard. A kilo of swallow's nest costs over $4,000. Matsutake mushrooms, which only grow in Yunnan province, cost up to $1,000 a kilo. And dried abalone, aged for decades, costs no less than $3,000. Even the water is luxurious. No ordinary bottled water here. It is water from Norwegian glaciers, Japanese or Icelandic springs, served in hand-carved crystal glasses. And yes, there is a water sommelier who explains whether it is more alkaline, more mineralized, lighter. A good example of this is the Filico brand. A single 750 milliliter bottle costs around 1,133 reais, or $219. Launched in 2005, this water comes from the Rocco Mountains in the city of Kobe, Japan. And needless to say, it's not just about what's inside. The packaging looks like a chess piece, decorated with Swarovski crystals and a cap that resembles a crown. Here, even taking a sip of water is a status symbol. And if eating at this level already sounds absurd, imagine where these people gather to close deals and decide basically where the world's money goes. Number 6. Exclusive clubs and elite networking. If you think these people close deals in offices, You're wrong. In China, where personal relationships are worth more than contracts, private clubs function as offices in disguise. But they are far away from any curious onlookers or gossip mongers. Starting with Beijing, there you'll find the Chang'an Club, one of the most exclusive clubs in the country. It's close to the Forbidden City, the former imperial palace that is now a tourist attraction. And just to be considered for membership, you have to shell out $200,000. That's right, and paying doesn't guarantee you'll get in. You need to be recommended by several members and still go through a selection process that looks more like an entrance exam for billionaires. In Hong Kong, the American Club, which is very traditional, caused a huge controversy when it decided that non-American members would have to pay $192,000 to remain in the club. And yes, many people accused the decision of discrimination. There is also the legendary China Club, another of Hong Kong's most exclusive clubs. Here, just to get in, you have to pay $280,000, plus a monthly fee of around $330. And here's the catch. Even to get on the waiting list, you have to be invited, and that queue can take years. They say that some of Asia's biggest financial deals, billion-dollar deals really, have been closed there. Always in rooms where no one will ever know who went in, who came out, or what was discussed. And make no mistake, these places aren't just for fine dining and expensive wine. They function as strategic centers. They're where you access investments that never reach the public, where you find ultra-discreet legal advice, international estate planning, early access to IPOs, those public stock offerings that only insiders can get, and even support to secure spots for your kids at the best schools in the world. In this universe, being a member of these clubs is not a luxury. It's simply a work tool, and often the most important one of all. Now we want to hear from you. If money were no object and you could try anything, what would you do first? Would you buy a high-tech mansion in Shanghai, have a fairy tale wedding, or buy an art collection worth millions? Tell us in the comments. And while you're at it, enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell because Bello Mundo is just getting started. Thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time.